beginning tonight with a Premier League story. For those of you who are busy today, working, whatever it might be, you may have missed the exact reasons finally coming out today as to why Ivan Toney was given an 8-month ban for breaking Football Association betting rules, and they include betting against his own team. Although the Brentford striker was given a reduced ban from football because he has been diagnosed with a gambling addiction, a psychiatry expert gave evidence to the FA's regulatory commission that diagnosed Toney with that gambling addiction and concluded that he needed help. And as a result, the commission reduced what would have been an 11-month sanction by 3 months to 8 months. The written reasons today explaining the sanction, Toney said, they came out and said that Toney had actually admitted to repeatedly lying during his initial interviews with the FA. It added he had since ceased gambling on football, although not on other sports, and is determined to address his gambling problem with therapy. He admitted to 232 breaches of FA betting rules over a period of 5 seasons between February of 2017 and January of 2021. During that time, he was registered with Newcastle and Peterborough, and he was on loan at several other clubs. So of those 232 breaches, 126 were in respect of matches in competitions in which Toney's club were participating in at the time, and of the 126, 29 were in respect of the club that he was playing for at that time. 16 were on his own team to win 15 different matches. He played in 11 of those matches. 13 were on Toney's team to lose. He didn't play in any of those matches. 15 of the bets placed were on himself to score. They were initiated at a time when it was not public knowledge that he was starting or playing in the relevant fixtures. And so the commission at the end of it came to the conclusion that although it wasn't match fixing and there was no evidence of that, or even a position to influence his own team losing when he placed the bets, as he wasn't playing and he wasn't eligible to play at the time, he still deserved that punishment of 8 months. He was also fined £50,000 and warned about his future conduct. So those written reasons are very clear now, included bets of teams that Ivan Toney was in. Let's say he wasn't playing in those games, but squads that he was either participating or his parent club when he was on loan. Listen, we're not going to go into Ivan Toney because I'll come to the reasons in a few moments' time, but I think now is not the time to slam Ivan Toney or to criticise him. He's been diagnosed with an addiction, and addiction is a serious, whatever that addiction might be, it's a serious issue that needs to be treated. And so this evening, we're not really going to go into the merits or otherwise of what Ivan Toney did or didn't do, or whether his ban is deserved. But we are going to react to what his manager has had to say this evening, because Thomas Frank, the Brentford boss, spoke to the press earlier and said that his 8-month ban is a massive reminder that the relationship between football and the gambling industry needs to be reviewed.
Yes, Ivan did something wrong. He got punished for it. He got the sanction. What I, on a personal note, don't get at all is how can you let him not be involved in football for the first 4 months? What do you gain from that? If you want to rehabilitate people, you give them education or you do something. So now it's like, okay, this is a sanction, leave it to yourself, find out, die or survive. I think that's the big thing. And it's not only for Ivan. I think he's an example for all in the football world to learn from, because we also need to review the relationship between football and gambling. I don't have the answer. I don't think it's me who need to answer that question. There must be some even more clever people than me that can find out a good solution about that. But I'm a football coach. What do I know?
Well, we're going to ask you to put yourself in the shoes of those people, whoever you think is responsible for addressing the relationship between football and gambling. So I want your views on it this evening here on talkSPORT. 03717 223344. What can we do to address the relationship? Lianne Sanderson waiting in the wings. I am going to come to you in a second. I know I spoke a lot because I did want to outline exactly what issues had been had arisen from the written reasons a little bit earlier on. I thought it was important to map them out. But I do want to say, obviously, once again, that gambling is a serious issue. So if it affects you or you think it could be affecting someone that you know, please check out begambleaware.org. Like any other addiction, those affected need to be treated with care. And as Thomas Frank pointed out, given rehabilitation to aid their recovery. But I do want to be frank about where we stand on this, because there is a strong relationship between this industry, sports media, sport in general, and the gambling industry. I understand that, and I understand that many of you will immediately want to call us hypocrites in that. Understand, I need to explain this, that this is commercial radio. Our advertisers and sponsors keep us going. Without that support, we might not be here at all. I know many of you are fans of talkSPORT. You're even going to hear the latest odds during this hour of radio. You'll hear plenty of ads from gambling and betting firms. It's part of the model of the industry that we are in. Given all of those things, though, it is a simple question. We're asking you how you think we can improve that relationship. Like I said earlier, I don't want to dive into Ivan Toney's personal life now, except to say that we wish him well in getting fully healthy, both on and off the pitch. It's not about him, but it is a moment that we can try and evolve on this one. We can try and learn something. And I'm asking you really honestly to help me do that in an open and frank conversation. Give us a call, 03717 223344. Very quickly, Lianne, I've got a few stats here on what exactly the relationship is between football and gambling when it comes to the finances in football. I can come to that a little bit later on. But your reaction to what Thomas Frank has had to say, is he right?
Yes, I mean, first of all, I want to second what you said, Hugh. Ivan's a good friend of mine, and I've backed him, you know, throughout just not only his career, but as a person, he's always been really good to me. He knows he's made a mistake, but addiction is a disease. It's not something that you can pick and choose. I think, you know, it's a bit hypocritical when you see all the, you know, the boards around the fields. I understand about marketing and understand about sponsorship, but it's almost like we've seen players talk about this over the years, haven't we? If you have an addiction and you're going out to play football and every time you take a corner, there's a board that says something about addiction, about the gambling, going in and out of breaks, you know, when you're watching the games. It's everywhere, isn't it? And it's become more. So maybe that's something that needs to be spoken about as well. Yes, there are things like sponsorships that need to be made, but maybe the wrong sponsorships. Surely there's other companies out there that can sponsor the different types of shows in the media outlets. So I don't think taking him away from the team is the answer. You know, not letting him train with the team for 8 months is not the answer. I think obviously he knows he's done wrong. He's made mistakes. We all do. But I just think taking him away from the team, where's he going to train? Like, you know, it's one of those ones, and maybe that will make him feel worse by not being able to be around the team. So he's made a mistake. He knows it. He doesn't need me or you or anyone else to tell him. But, you know, other people will probably he'll be made an example of, like he is right now, and there'll probably be more and more players that are out there thinking, wow, I've been doing this as well. And that's the reality. He's not the only one. Not that I'm saying I know that for a fact, but he won't be the first and won't be the last. But I think we need to show that support to him and to get him that help, and you know, and hopefully he's going to be okay, and he knows he's made a mistake.